Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hey, hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and today I have an individual that is doing big things on the wrestling scene. This man is a green light in the middle of a darkness. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Kaze. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside, Kaze. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, buddy.
No problem. So let's start with this. How did you get your, when did you know, when was your very first match in the professional wrestling business?
It was in 2004, May 23rd, I believe it was. It was my first match. I was 17 years old. I hadn't even graduated high school yet, haven't even got my diploma. Actually, I was a backyard wrestler before then, from 1999 to 2004, kind of self-trained at the time. And I lied about my age. You were supposed to be 18. And I lied and said I was trained, and I wasn't. I was just self-trained. And yeah, I ended up working a singles match and a battle royal. And that was my first start. Yeah.
Wow. So what was it like your very first match in the wrestling business? Because you were kind of I'm trained. Were you nervous? Were you excited the first time you actually went through the curtain for the first time in an indie show?
Yeah, I mean, it was a Camp War show. So it was a free show for trainees. But I mean, there was about 45, 50 people at the thing. And, I was no stranger to performing, man. I had 173 people in my backyard at one point. I'd have big crowds, 50, 60, 70 people, and getting standing ovations when I was 16 years old. So it was all very natural to me, to be honest. I was a little nervous, of course, just because I knew I was kind of bullshitting around and I wasn't fully trained. However, I was a stickler for just studying. I would put things in slow motion and watch how things are executed. So I was admitted later on by my opponent, Shane O'Ryan, who I had my first match with. He told me later that I outshined him and was better than him at the time. So it was one of those things. I'm blessed. I was a bit of a natural. So.
Wow. So how many states have you been, or countries have you been to in your career so far?
Well, Canada, all over Canada. I've got into a couple states in the United States of America, and I just recently came back from the United Kingdom. I wrestled there for 7 months, actually. So,
wow. So,
yeah.
What was it like to be across the pond in wrestling? Did the fans did they act differently to you? Did you feel the same vibe like you felt when you were in Canada?
Man, it was awesome. I can't wait to go back. It's pure wrestling out there, which is right up my alley. I'm a real old school stickler for tradition. And I love just mat wrestling on the canvas, just technical wrestling. And yeah, I mean, they're some of the best technical wrestlers, man. I was working with some trainees. They haven't even had any matches yet. And these guys were ready for shows. You know what I mean? But they hadn't even had a match yet. They're just very well trained out there. Very well trained. I can't put over how technically sound they are out there. I was right up my alley. I was loving it. It was doing British rounds matches and traditional stuff like that. It was awesome.
Wow. Awesome. So if there was fans of mine that are from the East Coast and they weren't familiar with you, how would you describe Kaze within 5 words to get them hooked to your style?
Oh, geez. I don't know if it's 5 words, but basically it's an extension of who I am. I can't do it anywhere else, just to shine bright the way I am with, my look and the hair and everything else. I'd say it's almost like a character coming out of the pages of a comic book in a lot of ways, to be honest.
Okay. Awesome. So if you would have to imagine Kaze as any Marvel or DC character, which character would you say he would be like?
Spider-Man is similar just because of the agility and the speed and, just being a good symbol of, what stands for good and what's right.
Okay.
Babyface all the way, man. Babyface all the way.
Okay, cool. I could see you hanging out with Spidey on top of underneath the thing. Like, what are you doing now, Spidey?
Truth be told, I'm a huge fan of the Ninja Turtles, and a lot of it is inspired from the Ninja Turtles. I'm actually announced from Dimension X, and I like to say that I'm like pals with the Ninja Turtles, and I've helped them out in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have another wrestler that you and him would become like the best tag team ever. Visage, Visage from Pennsylvania, from Pittsburgh, PA. You and him would be like a team. He's the Neon Ninja.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he comes out to the Vanilla Ice theme, Go Ninja song, the Go Ninja.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to look him up. That's tremendous.
When I see you and him, I saw him at a show in PA. He actually dived off the top of like an entranceway
Oh, wow.
He dove into 4 guys, like they were brawling, and he just did a swanton bomb into the middle of them.
Oh, wow.
I posted it on the Instagram page. Amazing. I was like, oh. So,
putting his body on the line, high risk activity, right?
Oh yeah. That's Visage. 100%. So
crazy.
Like the week of a show, do you have like a certain like workout that you do to get yourself like all ready to go?
So I train 5 days a week. I like to do it Monday to Friday. I kind of treat it like it's like a job. You know, everyone works Monday to Friday. So I'm training in the gym Monday to Friday. I invested in a home gym in 2017, which was awesome when COVID hit. I didn't have to worry about anything like that. And it's one of the greatest investments I've ever done. But yeah, I've been training since I was 19 years old, and I've been stretching. I cannot put over stretching enough. I've been stretching since I was 12 years old when I first seen Rob Van Dam. I wanted to be just like him. And so I've been stretching consistently 5-6 days a week since I was 12. And that's given me a lot of longevity, to be honest with you.
Wow. So like, do you do a lot of like yoga when you have a chance to yoga and a lot of Pilates and stuff like that?
I'd say like there's probably some yoga influence stuff, but I just stretch from head to toe. I put in a good half hour a day, 5 days a week, from the head, the neck, all the way to the shoulders, the back, the wrists, the elbows, to the hips, to the knees, to the ankles. Like I hit everything, and just put in a lot of time with, you know, my whole body, you know.
That's really good to hear, because I know a lot of people that think, oh, maybe if I stretch before the show, I'll be fine, or before my match. But you really put your work on it with the stretches and everything. So like, if there was any kids out there that wanted to get like a training regimen, do you know of anything that you could give them, like a kind of advice that you can get them for the stretching or like anything like that?
Well, for professional wrestling standards, I mean, you need to have, you know, a body, some kind of muscle mass. And it's more just, you got to think of it like this: for all the punishment we're putting our bodies through, the impact and everything else, the whiplash effects, you know, a muscle bound body, it's almost like a suit of armor. So it can like absorb the punishment a little more than if you're just like skinny and small. You're going to get hurt a lot easier, you know? So you're going to have a suit of armor. And then stretching, you know, I cannot stress stretching enough. Like, for what we do to ourselves, put our bodies through, I think it's very foolish that people don't stretch, you know?
Mm. So with being the kamikaze with the green, did you ever like, what they're like, is it true that you take all the other things out of the Skittles and the M&Ms and just eat the green ones, the green Skittles and the green M&Ms, and toss the rest of them out?
I'm not really into a lot of junk food. I'll treat myself here and there. I try and eat very healthy. I try not to have any bad habits like smoking and drinking alcohol, stuff like that. But yeah, sure. We could play around with that for sure. Green, orange, and red are my favorite colors. So, and I love color, clearly. So it's just part of who I am, and it's an extension of myself. I get to show that in the world of professional wrestling.
So when you were a kid, did you ever think that you'd be this like glimmer of bright lights and like this kind of thing? Like, who are some of your inspirations as a kid that made you want to do this awesome kamikaze character?
Well, like I said, I think the Ninja Turtles was a big influence. But when I first seen Rob Van Dam in 1999 for ECW, he really changed my life. Like, I wanted to be just like this guy. Like, he's just so flexible, so agile, just unique, different. And that's a big thing about me, who kamikaze is. Like, I'm just an individual, man. I dance to the beat of my own drum. I am unique. I am different. I'm not going to apologize for that. And I can't express myself in any other profession, in an office job or wherever. Like, professional wrestling is the place where I can amp myself up to 100 and truly show my true colors, literally. You know what I'm saying?
So, before we go, Kamikaze, if my fans want to pick up anything, any Kamikaze merch, where can they find it?
Okay, so Instagram, Kaze CMF for life. So that's at KAZE CMF, the number 4, and then life. Kaze CMF for life. That's my Instagram. You can DM me on there, and I do deliveries worldwide. And also, if you could just catch me at an event around Canada, United States, worldwide, I will have it at the merch table as well. I do everything from hats, 8x10s, t-shirts, tank tops, best of flash drives, DVDs, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, wow, flash drives. That's amazing.
Yeah,
You
buddy.
don't really see that much anymore. You know what's funny? The most wrestlers I've asked this to, they don't really have pins anymore. You know what I mean? Like actual like pins, like for their like vests and jackets.
Oh, yeah. I have stickers, but I haven't really got into the pin game. That's actually a good one to maybe tap into for sure.
You have to buy that pin press thing you can get from like Michaels or AC Moore.
Right. Yeah. There are some investments. I also have temporary tattoos, which is they've been doing pretty decent with the kids. I'm pretty kid friendly, with the youngsters and stuff like that. So
that's cool. So, Kamikaze, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It means a lot to me to have you on because your character's so awesome, and I want to wish you nothing but the best of luck on your wrestling journey.
I appreciate that.
Just keep me updated on everything you're doing. I'm Joe Panther III.
And this is the crazy mofo, Cam Kaze.
And we will catch you in the next